Hey, if you miss us live, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast.
My name's Tony Wood. I'm the general manager at Fred Bean's Key and Landlord. I just wanted to take a minute to talk about Larry Feldman and Career Changers USA. Larry and I have been working together for about the last 12 years now, and anything I've ever needed as far as recruiting, training, Larry's been right there. Larry's got me salespeople, he's got me managers, he's got me technicians, even through the toughest times in the industry, and he is just the kind of guy who's going to tell you exactly what's on his mind. He's going to tell you exactly what he thinks. But Larry also has the expertise to back it up. When he was in the dealership world, he was a top performer. And that's really important to my staff, especially as it pertains to training. A lot of people can come in and teach out of a textbook, but Larry has real world experience dealing with customers, dealing with situations in dealerships that we go through on a daily basis and try to train on. But Larry's been through it, so he can really empathize with the people and tell you what's worked for him and maybe what way not to go. Larry is just always at a 10. I mean, his energy level is always up there. And I think people, they just love that and they feed off of it. He's not faking it. He is genuinely excited to come in and help you. He's excited to come in and help grow your business. And he's one of those people who just really enjoys seeing dealers succeed and have a lot of fun at the same time.
All right. Life is about connection. Having a support system to lean on. And roads to endless possibility. At every turn, guiding the way, we are building the connections that move you.
So what would your dealership feel like if your entire sales staff was literally on fire, your sales and service staff? They were nonstop all over social media, completely dominating your marketplace. They could do it in 30 days or less and then continue their education to do it for an entire 6 months or a year. You literally would completely take over the entire marketplace and no one would be able to compete with you. And that's what we can do for you. So when you're walking around your community, whether you're at local restaurants or you're going to the gym, if you don't want to be bothered, fine, you won't be bothered. But a lot of people will walk up to you and say, oh my God, I love your social media. Your staff is amazing. We love what you're doing in the community. We want to come buy a car from you. We want to get an oil change at your dealership. Your community is absolutely going to love you. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on. You could be on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all social media platforms. You will literally be all over the place. And not only will you have ads running, but your own staff is going to be promoting your brand and promoting themselves within the dealership and within the business. So it's like running an ad times 100-fold because your entire staff is participating in the process. I've traveled all over North America. I've trained Toyota. I've trained Nissan. I've been to driving sales. I've been to Women in Auto. I get hired as a speaker for conferences at universities all over the country. And I can help change the trajectory of your dealership right now.
Hi there, this is Jeff
And this is Ian.
from the AutoHub show here, actually at the suite in the Mirage, which we're so lucky to be in, from NADA 2024. And we have with us our good friend, Mike. So, my gosh, Mike?
Mike Trudeau.
Gosh, I just did it. We can edit this out, by the way. I need it. But Mike Trudeau from Montway Auto Transport. Hi, thanks for being here, and appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
Thanks for having me, Jeff and Ian.
It's a pleasure here. Thank you for inviting us up to this place, getting out of the craziness that's down there. So tell us a little about yourself, your company, and your connection. Obviously, the auto transport, we know the connection, but
Sure. So I've been in car hauling logistics now for about 10 years. Started with an asset-based carrier and then went over to the brokerage side with Montway Auto Transport about 5 years ago. Our goal is to really to make sure that we bring all the carriers together to fulfill the customer's needs and offer a good supply chain solution. Here this week, we're really concentrating on the dealer segment, but we touch all different segments of the auto industry, especially in the remarketed side of the business.
Fantastic. So what role does logistics play in the automotive supply chain? Really heavy question.
For sure. So I think, for us, I mean, as you've seen, inventory and sourcing has gotten to be such a difficult thing, for a lot of dealers out there. It's not about just going to the local auction, buying 50 cars and having them shipped back to the store. A lot of different inventory programs now really get into the fact of, hey, you need this color, you need this miles, you need this equipment, and then your days to sell is going to be a lot quicker. So using a company like Montway or a brokerage, you're able to expand your inventory search because we cover all 50 states. So it doesn't matter where you buy the car. You can get a quote, in our automated system, and you can book the transportation right in there, and then you'll have an account rep sign there to make sure the good customer experience goes along. So instead of, God bless the local carriers that dealers have been using, but their reach sometimes doesn't even go that far. So, you can always keep using your local guy, but when you do go further out and you have other inventory needs, that's what you use a company like us for.
well, you mentioned earlier when we were talking before that dealers, like I'm a small dealer, and when we go on there, you bet, go on to I see open lane type has almost taken over Canada, but an e-block, guys. But click, transport done. It's a one-stop shop. You don't, how does a dealer go and figure out how do they get to you?
Oh, for us, I mean, one, they just need to go visit our website and fill out a contact form, and we'll contact them. But I mean, we have a sales team that's calling on dealers, expanding our footprint and our brand image with dealerships. But all we do is we set them up with their own web-based system. We call it MAP, the Montway Automation Portal. They go in, they can put in the VIN number or the location where they want to buy the car. They get a quote, they can book it. From there, they can see it through whether it's through status updates or geolocation tracking. And I think most importantly, as you get into the dealer groups and you have multi-rooftop stores and you have a buyer buying for multi-stores, that buyer can go into each store and put where the car they want to each store for each of the. Let's start that over. So the dealer can go in and select the store that they want to send that car to within their group, and then it can take it a step further, and you can actually report out on the metrics, because we all know how important cycle time is to a dealer. So you can measure the transportation vendor, like Montway, and see, hey, how quick are you getting it there? You can know that, hey, I have 10 cars that are coming in Wednesday, and talk to your service manager and say, hey, I'm going to need 10 spots to get that into recon. Because I think we all know that, you know, you get all these cars coming in, you don't know when they're going to come in. And then the service manager's already backed up. And next thing you know, you got another day, another 2 days of waiting for the car, waiting for it to get reconned. And then when it's not reconned, you can't sell it. So, you know, really when you look at transportation and logistics in the industry, it can really help reduce your cycle time, which in essence, I know transportation, I'm not naive, costs you money, but it can also save you money, especially if the speed is there. And that's one of the things that technology does. The other part is our network and our carriers.
Now, I know Ian's got another question. I'm going to cut you off. So, because I wanted to ask, how does somebody get away from hit the button on the auction? You're on Odessa, and it goes transport, bing, and it's literally a split second.
Yep.
How does somebody then, without consciously going to your site and picking you and contact your people, is there a way through AI?
So, I mean, they can log into the portal for sure. And that way they can just do it and they can have it up on other screen. Most of those guys buying online have multi-screens up. And I mean, I know that, hey, all those people are hitting that button, you know, with Mannheim and Odessa, right? And that slows it down. You know, that slows you getting the car down. Not to say that they're slow, but if you go outside of that, can you speed it up? Can you get the cars there? Can you get a better rate?
And you lose control. Like with using them, I hate to say it, you lose control.
You can.
You know, and they go, you know, and again, in Canada, Odessa it kind of exists under the open lane banner, but it's their transport. And it's like, you phone in a complaint, you don't even get a person. You get what you do, but that person's like way over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry.
Yeah. So how does customers benefit? Like, how does this impact customers versus just the dealer? Like, what do you think?
So, I mean, if the dealer does get into home delivery, one of the nice things about our system is that it has a public URL tracking link. So a dealer can share the link with the customer and give them kind of a FedEx type kind of style of receipt, I guess you would call it, or status update, where they can see the pictures at the origin. They can see where the trucker's bill of lading. They can see where their car is in terms of, you know, kind of mile markers, and it gives them full transparency. So it's just a different way to attack the home delivery, where you can give them that transparency. And I think at the end of the day, even for customers, when they go into a store, you know, sometimes they want a specific car. Well, now you have the opportunity to source that specific car where you can go out and get it. So you have a longer reach from a logistics standpoint.
So kind of similar to like UPS or FedEx or something, they can track their car essentially.
Correct.
Versus now where they're like, oh, I got to call the dealer. Is it there yet? Is it there yet?
Yep, absolutely.
Very interesting. And you guys it sounds like you're very heavily vested in the pre-owned versus the new. I know the new for a while there was pretty strong because somebody'd find we're talking about Lightning earlier, a Lightning in Boca Raton, and there they are here in Vegas, and somebody could get it shipped to them. So what can people expect from their whole experience with you? Like a dealer, a private individual, whatever.
I think from us, you know, the technology is great. I mean, it's definitely the tool to get things started, but really it's our customer-centric approach. So, I mean, no matter if you use the technology or not, we still have, whether it's an account management team or a salesperson, they're watching, you know, those orders to make sure that, you know, everything is flowing correctly. They always have that one point of contact, which I think is huge. And I think it kind of separates us. And the other thing that we do is we go in with our customers and we'll do monthly reviews. Hey, how has our performance been? You know, this is how many cars you bought. This has been your average price. This has been, you know, how long it's taken us. When you're buying at these auctions, it takes a little longer because of X, Y, and Z. When you buy at these auctions, we can get them here quicker. And, you know, we do have the benefit of being behind the scenes. So, you know, for some of our customers, you know, we can look at different options. Hey, have you ever checked out, you know, Riverside? You know, say if you're in Arizona or whatever the case may be, you know, that we can kind of give them, you know, we're seeing a lot of activity there. So we kind of know behind the scenes of, you know, what auctions might be hot or who's buying something where.
Have you ever get pushbacks? Because you say, I'm not saying you openly push them to a competitor, but do you have any resistance if you get like I'm not sure in the States. I know in Canada, Desert Transport is there. They bought out all the little transport guys. And down here, it's a little different. The economy of scale is way different. But like you just said, have you tried your own side? Do you hear from somebody else, or do you ever get any feedback, bad feedback about that?
No, not really. I mean, they're the experts, right? I mean, they're gonna know what they want to do regardless. It's just advice, and I mean, I think probably, for us, the third-party logistics or the broker industry in the U.S. has just been growing over the last 10 years. And really, it's a good thing for the carriers too. I mean, some of them will tell you they don't like it for sure. They would rather get the business direct, but it allows us to be the sales arm for them, and we keep feeding them, right? Because I mean, ultimately, we're using 1, 2, 3 car shop trucks or businesses with 3 trucks. And, sometimes we use the larger asset carriers as well. But I mean, ultimately, we can be their sales arm, and we can help them grow their business by getting more orders.
That's a great opportunity for an independent. This is a world leading for dealer, an independent dealer. My God, what is that anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And an independent trucking with 2, 3 trucks, and they're usually family or something. And nice to have somebody looking out for them too.
Yeah, I mean, we did interview that company that was looking at the North American market with dealers, Thai cars.
Tao JJ?
Tao JJ. They're looking at expanding into this market, but also we had the opportunity to interview a lot of smaller regional dealerships, whether they be independent or franchise. We actually interviewed a gentleman at Scottsdale who manages the U.S. side of I think they have 18 stores.
AutoCAD.
Cam Clark.
Oh, Cam, yeah.
So he has some interesting challenges because it's the same group, but they're moving cars back and forth. I mean, the Chinese companies, actually, because they have dealers, but they're also similar to Carvana in terms of model
in China,
but they're looking at North America. So we're seeing a lot of that expansion, whether it be Canada, U.S., U.S. to Canada, U.S. to Europe, and then, of course, now independents moving, maybe Mexico and other markets. Is there any plans to move cars, say, North America wide or internationally even?
For sure. I mean, we would love to get into the Canadian market. There really is no real broker in Canada. Most of the asset-based guys know where the cars are. I think as it keeps growing, and to your point, as they start flowing even more than they do today, back and forth, I could see that there's going to be a need for that. Especially as these groups, they start to become even larger, where it's not just a group in the U.S., it's a group across North America. I mean, I know some exist already, but I think that's just going to be more common, as the years come on. So, I mean, hopefully the carrier base in Canada would be open to, look at a brokerage type model. They're not all that bad. I get that, sometimes, the word broker has a tough name associated with it. I like to say we're a third-party logistics company and really look to just partner with the carriers to help them grow their business. And I think that if you go in with that mindset, where you're not trying to, take money off the table, except, expand it, then, you can have a lot more success.
Yeah, because you're seeing a lot of that, whether it be out of Canada or go out and
well, there's a big dealer, and they're a group, they have 3 or 4 stores, but he runs 180 and 250 cars out of Toronto at Flint. I think it's Mannheim, Flint, every week.
That's at Flint now.
And going Canada is about the size of California and Idaho, as far as population, but we're like twice the size of the U.S. and land. So logistics are a bit of a nightmare, but we don't really have a very well-developed system. On one fellow that's he runs cars from Eastern Canada to Western Canada. He owns the rights to rail cars, and in Canada, the way to ship them is rail cars.
Yep.
If you're going the full distance, if you're somewhere in the middle, there's just no point. But and I know firsthand, it's a real difficult thing. It's a challenge if you want to get something. It's, if you figure, I remember buying cars in Saskatchewan, which is like going from North Dakota. Most Michigan people understand Canada because they're Canadian light. Just kidding. But
True.
it's like going from North Dakota to Washington State. 3 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
And I mean,
That's way too long.
that's way too long.
I mean, we typically New York to California, probably no more than 7 days.
Yeah. And then the beauty of that, which I'd love to have, is I'm sure somebody could log on to your site and say, well, that truck I got in New York is now sitting in, Wisen, Charlotte.
Yeah.
They got to know, and then they can get somebody. I quite like the fact that you just said too that you could reach somebody.
Yeah.
Verbo has got these big commercials now. You could speak to a person within 1 minute.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of competitors out there that are really trying to automate it, right? But they're leaving out the part of the actual like concierge type kind of service. And I mean, it's a mistake. This is a relationship industry. It always has been, and I don't see it changing at all. So I mean, the relationship is still key. You still have to have the person that, hey, who can I talk to?
Yeah.
Because as of right now, the computers don't talk back. They might one day. Yeah.
They talk back, but even we
Having on the IT guy.
Yeah.
we used to have a sponsor that was an AI service thing, and it's very good. It's great, except when you yell at them, because even you get relationships. You go, what the heck? And Fred, Bill, Jane, I'm sorry. Let me get on it. Whereas the computer will just give you the same response regardless of the tone of your voice and can't read that. So
Yeah.
texting.
Well, that's what I tell all my people. You got to pick up the phone when you know it's bad news. And a lot of times, the guy the customer on the phone might be telling you how you stink and how bad you are, and at the same time he's sending you another order. And the reason why is because he picked up the phone.
Yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity 3 years ago to work for a logistics company that's now owned by a big conglomerate in the U.S. But at that point they were a smaller company. I think XPO owns them now. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, the vast majority of the sales that we did were early morning, calling people. That's what it was. And I'm sure that's still the case. It's just probably, different types of calls.
Yep, for sure.
Is there anything else you'd like to mention to sort of the self-promotion side, which is the AutoHub show, allowing you to self-promote?
Yeah, I mean, I probably would close with, if you're really, if you're a fixed ops, CFO, owner of a multi-rooftop group, and you really want to see what's going on with the transportation spend and really look at decreasing your cycle time, it's definitely worth reaching out to us. We have quite a few groups already using, our technology and having a lot of success with it. And you can really, bring out what is the transportation cost? Because to your point, a lot of times, the transportation cost is it's a cost of having to do business, but can you reduce it to improve your front end? The answer is yes. Can you source at different places to increase your front end? Yes. Can you get the cars there quicker to decrease your overall cycle time where you don't have to sit there and pay extra days on your floor? The answer is yes. So that to me is the reason why if you're interested in reaching out to us, that's what we do.
And how quickly can someone get started if they want to work?
Right away. Right away.
Well, thanks very much for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys having me.
And that's Montway Auto Transport. Look them up.
Hey, if you missed us live, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast.